religion? Why are you a Christian? Why are you a Muslim? Why are you a Buddhist? Why are you this? Why? And so, my mother, my grandmother, for generations, this is what we've known. This is what I was born into this, and I believe it. No, you don't really believe it. You accepted it. You're trying to convince yourself that you believe it, but in true reality, you never had a choice. No one ever sat you down and gave you a choice. Most likely you accepted it, and you're continuing it because of one thing: fear. The fear of the damnation of fire, eternal burning fire and death. Because one thing that God does make clear, he kills a lot of people in that book. God kills over 3 million people in the Bible. The devil kills nobody. God kills over 3 million people. Satan kills nobody. So he's a murderer. That's a fact. He says it himself in Isaiah. I created the evil and I created the good. Do what I, saith the Lord. Isaiah. He says he's the one creating the evil. He didn't say it was Satan. He said it was him. And anytime you got to say him, which is a gender, we're talking about a person. We ain't talking about the creator of the universe. We're not. We're talking about these people that were here, that look like us, but were far, far more intelligent, consciously, spiritually, technologically. And they abuse that. They abuse that knowledge against us. Anytime a more advanced culture meets a less advanced culture, the less advanced culture will deify them. It's just a fact. It's called a cargo cult. I talk about this many times in my lectures and podcasts and workshops. It's been in documentaries. It's a real life thing. Cargo cult. Earth is a gigantic cargo cult. The whole planet is a cargo cult. And people are saying, Good Friday. Why is it good? I don't understand. Why is it so good? If I know people that are good people, I can't imagine those good people that I know standing by me and then somebody over there with a kid, watching that kid get slaughtered, and they're going, yeah, that was good. I can't imagine that person doing it. I can't conceive it happening. Because I know they would be completely appalled by it. You see what's happening with Israel and Palestine? I see certain people are cheering for the deaths and making excuses why those kids and those people should be eradicated or genocided. That's what religion does to you. It turns you into a madman or a madwoman. It rips away your humanity. It steals it from you. It's like a thief in the night that robs you of who you really are. You're at your core value and turns you into an absolute raging animal that you'd do anything in the name of God. Many people have been killed in the name of God. More people have died over religious beliefs than any other reason on the face of the earth. More wars over what? Religion. Okay. It's a powerful, powerful drug. And if you get addicted to it, you're in trouble. You are your own savior. It's the Christ consciousness that you're trying to achieve. That's what the mission is, Christ consciousness. How do you obtain a level of Christ consciousness? Jesus was just one Christ of dozens that existed long before he was even born. It's crystallization of the conscious mind. How do you achieve that? You can only achieve that by learning from your failures, by learning from your wrongdoings, from figuring things out and doing better and not letting those things happen again. That's how it works. You have to alchemically convert darkness to light. We're talking about alchemy. Alchemy through actions and conscious thoughts. And you're sitting up here talking about this rising up out of caves and he's going to come back on a cloud and all this kind of stuff. There's people right now today in this very exact moment that if a guy came down in a flying machine that they didn't recognize, in other words, it didn't look like he had one of those jet packs attached to him. Some people right now, this moment, would drop to their knees and start sobbing. They don't know who they are. They would become an instant victim of more manipulation. As advanced technology. You don't need a middleman to get to God. You don't need a middleman to get to God. You don't need it. You know why? You're already connected to God because everything in the entire known universe on every dimension is connected. Even gravity transcends dimensions. Gravity trans dimensions. We know that gravity is the weakest force in physics. Why is it the weakest force? I know it is because I can lift up this phone off the table, even though the Earth's gravity is pulling against it. My arm is strong enough to lift it. Why is it the weakest force when it should be one of the stronger forces? It's the weakest force because it transcends multiple dimensions. By the time it gets to the third density, it's weaker than it is at the higher densities. You have to understand that you were sent here to become your own savior. And the faster you get that into your mind, the faster you understand that you are not the victim, you are the savior, and you are the solutions provider, the faster you get out of any predicament that you're in. The faster you begin to grow consciously and spiritually, the faster you become a better person. It's just a fact. It's an absolute fact. And if you're not too scared to go burn in the lake of fire, which was added to the Bible by the Roman Catholic Church, doesn't even exist, and try the method I'm telling you, you'll see growth in your life instantaneously. You'll see change in the blink of an eye. You'll see it. You'll feel it. You'll recognize it immediately because it's something totally different than what you've been doing all these years. All these years you've been doing it. Now it's time to make a change. It's time to make a complete change. Let's look at something else. Incorporation of local saints and martyrs. This is very important. So the veneration of local saints and martyrs, often with festivals and rituals reminiscent of pagan hero worship, helped tailor Christianity to different regions of the planet to make it more appealing for those populations. So what they did was they took their local saints, their saints, people, saint this and saint that, right? And martyrs, people that were killed for a cause. And, maybe the Roman government slayed those people and not revered them because they got killed for what they believed in. I said, you know what? Let's make this a smorgasbord. Let's throw them in there too. Let's get it all in there. Throw it all in there and mix it all around. And then just remix it and boom, we'll take everyone. We want everybody. Open arms, bring them all in. This is how they did it. This is exactly how they did it. Okay? And so by combining pagan rituals with Christianity, the Romans facilitated a smoother transition to the new faith across the entire empire, ensuring its wider acceptance and integration into daily life. This strategy not only helped the spread and consolidation of Christianity, but it also enriched its traditions with a diversity of cultural expressions. So we got a little bit from these people, a little bit from these people, a little bit from these people, a little bit from these people. Just toss it all in. And people are thinking that they're getting some information that came directly from the God, the creator of the universe, God. Because I believe there's a creator of the universe, God. I believe that. I believe that there is a God that created this universe. I've never said there wasn't one. I don't believe the one in that book is the creator of the universe, because when you go into the text, and I just barely dabbled in some text here, you find out it's multiple gods, which aren't gods at all. They're just people that were revered as gods. You see? People that were revered as gods. And now what is Biden doing? He's doing the same exact thing. He probably studied this Roman text and said, oh, Constantine used this technique to incorporate, to get more people in. So if I use that technique, I can get more people in. So what does he do? He declares Easter Transgender Day. All right. So now he's using an ancient thing that happened in Rome, and he thinks it's going to work for him. So he's using that for his poly tricks. He's using the same exact technique Constantine used, but he's using it for his poly tricks. You see, that just happened. That really just happened. Just happened. All right. So it's just crazy stuff, man. The more you dig into this stuff, the more you scratch your head like, what the hell is going on? 21st century, and we got grown people still believing in fairy tales. And it's just because they've been programmed. Like I say all the time, when you were born, you were given your name, you were given your race, you were given your religion, and now you're spending the rest of your life defending a false identity. I've seen people in the chat already getting frustrated and angry and, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying this. He needs to burn in the lake of fire and all this kind of stuff. If I ask those people who are they can't even tell me who they are. They have no idea who they actually are. They have no idea who they are, because everything that they are is completely programmed. They've accepted every program that exists. And from the age of 1 to 7, that programming code, it becomes like a hard file on the database, on the drive. And from there, everything else is just added to the drive, to that one master file. That between age 1 to 7, whatever happens within that time frame, usually very hard to break it. That programming code is hard to break. So we walk around and we say, I'm Billy Carson. Well, who's Billy Carson? I mean, am I really Billy Carson? Somebody gave me that name. I didn't give myself that name. Somebody gave me that name. That's why I get it when people name themselves, you know, like Malcolm X, he gave himself his own name. I understand it. He identifies with that better. He gave himself that name. You know, I didn't give myself this name. See, we got to look at things a little bit deeper,